Mariah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello. Hi. Both of us are doing headgears today.
I'm in the middle.
Yes, so let me not mention, I got a call about you yesterday.
Hey,
Mabuja, this is your hair.
What have I done?
Is it that, doesn't she know she's a role model? Yeah, this is your hair that you're carrying, that all sort of funny colors. Why yourself, Why yourself?
Role model in what? In the colors that I like or that I choose, or in my behavior and my content? And what am I role modeling?
No, even for the hair, some people love colorful hair.
I love
can
colorful
be a role
hair.
model to a young girl looking like, can I wear this,
Will it
now?
suit my
And
skin?
as I grow older, is this something I can flaunt? You know, a lot of young people say to us that, thank God for the way you are. Because we thought that once you get to a certain age, everything just collapses.
Yes.
So please.
Please, oh.
We have a picture of how we expect people to be.
Yeah,
Like,
mother, you should dress
Yeah.
this way, you should
Yeah.
look this way, you should... no, those things are irrelevant if you ask me. It's just about the personality. You are going to be looking at the behavior. How do you handle other human beings? How do you love other people? What character do you have? Do you go somewhere and people are happy, you make them feel good? What are you about? What is your content? That's what people should be looking at.
Are
not
you a
the
kind
hair.
person?
Yes.
Are you an honest person?
Yes. Do you have
And
integrity?
You also say modesty. You don't have to be shiny on your color like this. Just
Who gave them that
modest.
definition of modesty? This is very modest as far as I'm concerned.
Anyways, how you doing?
I'm fine.
I love the cap.
Thank you. It's
it's a scarf.
Yeah, it's a scarf.
So how did you?
But it's sold this way. It's like the northern style. They call
I
it
like
Maria
it.
Babangida.
You know, I used to dress like this many years ago. This style. I used to
Yeah.
have that with the Ankara. I used to have our tilted sideways.
One
Yeah.
side,
I used to have that style.
You know,
it's beautiful.
I remember growing up, my mom, they used to, Mariam Babangida she used to tie her hair. And then I would see my mom, they would get like cardboard sheets.
Yes.
They wrap
My
it
mom
in
used to
the
get
wrap.
newspapers.
And, yeah,
My mom
and
used to
then
use
tie
newspapers.
it on their heads.
Yes,
But now
yes.
they've just made it easy. You just buy it and just tie it on your
My
head.
mom used to use newspapers.
You will get it.
Definitely. I'm going to order too. I'm going to
All
order
right,
too.
okay.
How
I'll
you
just
doing?
quickly.
Yes.
I don't know, have you noticed how healthier your children seem since they've been home? For me, my children they look healthier, they sleep longer. You see this style that we have been doing where we wake them first thing in the morning, they're getting ready for school, they're in school. I don't know, maybe I think we started too early for them.
I was speaking to
my
the
children.
Commissioner for Education. She was telling someone that the new normal is such that there's no more term 1, term 2, term 3. You educate your child in your own like education is changed. So we need to look beyond. Oh, this is you do this thing and then they get an examination. Or no, it's not about they've broken those walls now. So you educate your child per time. Whatever it is you can do right now, educate your child. Forget about the rudiments that we are putting
the four walls of the classroom. Yeah, because
so they are getting enough sleep.
Yes.
And they're being educated at the time, 3, 4, 5 hours. We focus on stuff. Yesterday, my daughter was reading stuff. She was explaining to me what she read casually, and she understood it. So I mean, so there's a lot of things even we parents are realizing
because they're at home,
lockdown.
they watch the news and they discuss the news like you and I, they have understanding of it. Was so caught up in giving them that get to school and then they know nothing else.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm just happy that my children are sleeping long enough. You see, bringing up a child in Lagos is not easy. In Jos, you can still wake up, at least when we're in school, you wake up like 7 and still get to school at 7:30. Here,
wake up as early as 5:30.
Yes, 5:30. You're waking up
it.
kids that are 5 and 6 years old.
Yeah.
Thank God for COVID-19.
How are you doing?
Somehow. I'm all right. Yesterday, I had plans. So normally I write my goals. I want to achieve so and so today, any day I'm at home. And I wrote that I was supposed to start up, I've started my series, personal development and career series.
Right.
And I was supposed to do some recording on YouTube. But the kids were home. The 2 of them are not doing any work. It was only one, and they were all over me. So they didn't give me time to do my thing. But I was happy that we bonded. I was able to look through their work. My daughter is learning how to read now. So she's moved from 3-letter words to phrases. And I paid attention to her yesterday. She was so happy. We had fun. And when I was looking, okay, I didn't achieve this, but I achieved much more. Wow. Family is very important. That bonding time with my kids, I so much enjoyed it. You know, so...
It's amazing. Even my daughter recently, every small thing she learns, she comes to explain it to me, and I sit down with her, and I really enjoy the conversation.
You ask her questions, you see that she's
and
developing
about
critical
Nigeria,
thinking.
learning about South Africa, learning about Ghana.
That's education.
I don't even know. You know, so it's really interesting. It's
That's
good
education.
Anyways, so I think we're going to go on a break. When we come back,
And I love
we'll
your
go through
headgear.
Thank
I
you.
do.
I was supposed to
I
use my
love
photo
it.
shoot, but it just didn't make the photo shoot. So
Okay, it's really
I bought it
pretty.
from somewhere.
I
Let's
love
go on a
it.
break. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Let's start with the punch. Federal government warns medical directors over rising deaths in hospitals. Picture here of Isheri section of the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway. Terrible, terrible. Man arrested for attacking Osun doctor, patients vandalizing hospital. Chinese couple locked up 8 Nigerian employees for 4 months. Ojudu Adeyeye not welcome to PDP, says Fayoshe. Passengers with cold and malaria won't board, says aero contractors. APC caretaker panel visits Tinubu Akonde on peace mission. Petrol price, NLC demands reversal. NECA backs federal government. Okay, so which stories are we taking? Yeah.
Just 2 quick short ones. So the first, the police in Abuja arrested a Chinese couple for locking up their Nigerian employees, about 8 of them for the past 4 months, yes. So because of the COVID-19, they didn't allow them get out of the house. In fact, if you make any attempt to go out, they would deduct your salary, even the salaries that you have not been paid. And those salaries were already slashed. So they didn't let them go out at all. And I think one of them went to buy pure water recently, and his salary was slashed already. So by the time it was the neighbors who noticed that they were talking through the windows and reported to the police. But by the time they now started calling on, after they rescued them, to give a statement, they changed their story. They said no, they were not arrested, they were not locked up against their will, that they decided to be there. So there's something fishy going on.
I didn't
Either they are
understand the story
scared.
because we had a lockdown.
Yeah.
Everybody, with my own helps in the
Yes,
house,
we're
or
a
my
bit strict
cousins or my aburos in the house say, Morale locked me up for 3 months. We are all locked down. Grandma is in my house.
Exactly.
Everybody is
Yeah.
locked down. So when they're saying that they locked you up for 4 months, I
But
don't
initially
understand.
they claimed that they weren't fed. They were maltreated.
that's a different
Yes,
issue.
yeah, during
Different.
the lockdown.
Okay.
The major headline.
Yes, major headline.
So federal government is warning the medical directors of hospitals and says they'll take responsibilities for deaths from negligence, because there's been a report, an increase in the numbers of patients who are being neglected. When they get to hospitals. They would not admit them. There's an emergency. They claim there are no beds, so they're sent away. Or you bring them in and, you don't test. Then they said, okay, the COVID test that they sort of delay the release of the results.
Right.
And because of that, for them, they believe that's one of the reasons that the numbers have spiked. I know someone who says that you wait for the results, and because you don't get it, you're moving around thinking you're fine. By the time the result comes out, you have, spread it.
Right.
The Minister for Health was also talking about the Madagascar drug.
Yes.
And says that the Madagascar drug, from their initial investigation, the main ingredient for it is called Artemisia annua. And that is something that is grown very largely here in Nigeria, especially in Abuja, but that they'll do further tests, but they're waiting on a grant to do that. So
Okay.
So if we had listened to ourselves, that we can actually find the cure. See, now the medicine went to
we don't know if
the
it's a
Obodo
cure. They
Oyibo,
said Madagascar
or
has
whatever
numbers.
it is. We brought it here. We have it here. We need to start
There's
looking,
a story
believing in
I
ourselves.
wanted to take in Punch, actually. Ohanes, the General Assembly, are suing CAC, demanding 500 billion. Remember last week, they had gotten the CAC
Yes, for that.
saying that they got the registered at CAC to be a proper organization, but CSC had rescinded on their own decision to register them, to have deregistered them actually. So they're now suing CSC that you have no right to deregister us because we actually filed in all the right papers to become an organization. Moving on now to The Nation. APC consultations begin as leaders meet Tinubu Akonde. Brace for rising virus cases, Minister alerts Nigerians. Ondo Health Commissioner dies. UAE police extradite Hush Papai to the United States. Aids of VIPs to be barred from airports. Oh, nice. Okay, let me quote Ashiwaju here. He was saying that, because when reporters were asking him about the meeting,
Okay.
That so was it supposed to be like a reconciliatory meeting? He said no, we have no differences to be sorted out. We just had consultations, and those consultations are about our party. The APC will continue to be a progressive party. That's according to Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Okay, the other story. Yes, aviation. Go ahead.
So the minister has circulated what's it called now? More like a secular, yes. That 8 of the VIPs will not be allowed. If you don't have any business, you're not traveling, you don't have any papers to travel, you won't be allowed into the airports, because they're trying as much as possible to follow all the protocols of, curbing the COVID-19. And they are asking the ministers and the VIPs, so to speak, to take responsibility. So organize yourself in such a way that you don't need your aides to come in. So, but the domestic flights will resume. July 8th, we have Abuja and Lagos to resume. By July 11th, we have Maiduguri, Kano, Port Harcourt, and Owerri. So let's see how. And
a related story, aero contractor said, if you sneeze in the plane, they will quarantine you and you over to the official. So if you have a cold, if you have malaria you don't want to hear doctors say I have malaria. No. Bring your COVID-19 test from a verifiable hospital. If you don't have that, don't bother traveling. But God forbid you go and sneeze. They said they'll bundle you like this.
If you are mid-air, what would they do?
They'll bundle you and put you somewhere. Quarantine you. They say they'll call you an index case. So please, if you have a cold, just stay in your state. Don't go anywhere.
Hush Pape.
Hush Pape, please.
He's with the FBI in America. Stop dancing for that name.
I like the song. What was that song they made for him?
They made a song.
Lie, they will catch you.
Yeah, so they've caught him and they've taken him to America, where he will meet his mates that are supposed to serve many, many years behind bars. So that is how the cookie crumbles.
Hey, tell me, Daily Sun. NLC Nupeng spoil for war over fuel price hike. Heads roll at NSITF. 2021 Guba, again Anambra Monarch reject zoning. Edo Guba APC drafts Oshomole, Ganduje, Oyegun, Kalu governors into the campaign council, heavy with Jujuju. COVID-19 deaths rise as health commissioner dies in Ondo, and Akeredolu's wife and her aide actually test positive. Okay, let's talk about the fuel price. Who has that story?
Yes, so the PDP, the Labour and other stakeholders are slamming the federal government over the increase of the pump price. That's our premium motor spirit, PMS, what we know as fuel, saying that this is more like a punishment for the citizens. The administration has not done anything good aside from the fact that they have just been increasing prices. We've had VAT increased to 7.5. We've had the electricity tariff, which we are still struggling with. We have a new stamp duty and other levies that this is just bringing more hardship on the people of Nigeria, especially at this time that we have the COVID-19. So they are challenging the federal government to show them the indices and the parameters used to increase the price, because right now they are not even expecting, due to the fall in the crude pricing, they are not expecting us to have an increase in the fuel price. So
all right, so hopefully we're talking about this pretty soon, because I know Labour is always so quick to jump into this kind of issues, sometimes to politicize them. So let's get the facts right. So hopefully very soon we'll try the experts to
moving on. NSITF.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we heard that the presidency has ordered for the immediate suspension of the MD, Mr. Adebayo Shomefu. That's NSITF, and also about 3 other EDs, and they're supposed to be facing an investigative panel for misappropriation, gross misconduct, financial procurement breaches from the year 2016 till date. A spokesperson for NSITF says there wasn't a sack, because I think there was a story saying that they had been sacked, but it wasn't a sack, but a suspension, and they'll be investigated.
Moving on very quickly to Vanguard. COVID-19, FG goes spiritual. Allies can NSCIA on prayers and fasting. Let's find a story we've not taken. Edo governorship, APC unleashes Oyegun, Oshomole, others against Obaseki. Agbakowa distances himself from this new political force. Okay, I think those are the stories. I read the Agbakowa stories, and he's a lawyer, and he's saying that he and a few others were not consulted before they were drafted into this new political force. I mean, I already personally was skeptical about this one, because we heard about these new political forces, even leading to 2015. So many people coming together, but the truth is that the reporters have not been able to confirm from the organizers to know exactly how they were able to get in, how the parameters they used to get in the members of this committee. Remember, it was a 50-man committee that was set up to help in ensuring that we form a new force in towards 2023. Major story. Go ahead,
yes,
please.
So the federal government has decided that the only thing that we need now is prayer to be able to solve this case of COVID.
Or
yes,
one of?
It's prayer to help solve this case of COVID-19. And so they partnered with NIREC, which is the Nigerian Interreligious Council, and they are declaring a season of prayer. So the Muslims will start the prayer by today. Today's third, yes, Friday, and the Christians will finalize it and round it up on Sunday. So while they are praying as well, they are saying that they are going to observe social distancing in their prayer grounds, ensure that you use your sanitizer, wash your hand and all that. So the prayer, it's more like to go and gather it from the spiritual aspect.
And where are you supposed to do this? I thought I would hear from the federal government that you can stay in your various homes and do it, but ask them to come to gather somewhere.
In a related story also, PTF is also saying that between 50, the most of the fatality we've had, 3 out of 5 50-year-olds actually die from COVID-19. The numbers of those who have it are younger people below 50. In fact, the young ones are the ones passing it around and spreading it.
Yes.
And we need to ensure that we take responsibility to reduce the spread quickly. More government hospitals must be converted to sample collection centers so that we can actually test more. Because if we don't test more, we don't know the exact accurate figure that we're dealing with. Okay, I think that's all we can take right now. Is there any story you wanted to take?
20 states have slashed their budget.
Yes, go ahead, Daily Trust.
Yes,
20 states slashed their budget. Go ahead.
Yeah, so about 20 states slashed their budgets because, of course, of our economic realities due to the pandemic that we're facing globally. And they said some states, especially Gombe State, some of them have suspended their...
Who has a story? Law school paid workers with 36 million.
Yes, so there's a misappropriation of funding that's going on right now, and they are being probed. So the Accountant General of the Federation is summoning the that's the management of the law school. So they give them about 9 queries. One of them is the fact that they have to make account of the 36 million paid as dressing allowance and another 32 million paid to an unnamed cleaner. But the management right now is saying that I don't know if he's a woman or a man, I can't remember the name, but saying that he wasn't in the office when this misappropriation happened. But they're probing back to 2015. So
that's all we can take on Front Page. When we come back, we delve into our hot topics. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
we'll be right there.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So yesterday we started a conversation on if money should be a barrier to keeping friendships and relationships. So today we're looking into another angle. Should we sustain this very VIP culture, you know, where certain people are the preferred, you know, either in a religious setting or in public gatherings, which has created quite a lot of discrimination and hatred as a lot of people feel they are being treated unfairly in society. And this, as I said, it's become cultural, you know. You can't expect to go to a certain place and you sit at the place where the heavyweights are sitting. You know, you have an event and there's the VIP section. I mean, so when the producers were talking about, they said, it's almost normal in our own society where you go somewhere, you find your level.
Every society.
Every society, you find your level. You can't go to see the Queen of England and think you can sit down with certain people in the front rows.
For what?
So the truth is that why do people then have this what's the word I'm looking for?
Self-doubt?
Self-doubt in who they are, just because you're not being allowed to sit in certain places or they don't see you in certain circles. So you feel like, oh, maybe I'm not good enough. Why do we have that mentality? Is the problem us or them? That's the question.
I like the question. So for me, I've come to realize that we will always have VIPs, very important personalities. You cannot do away with it because we are not all evolving and developing at the same level. you know, everybody has their, and I know that when you come into the world, we are all supposed to have come equal. But then with the classes and the society and the jobs we're doing and everything, we have grades. And one of the reasons we have those grades is to be able to measure certain things. We maybe want to measure competence, want to measure excellence, we want to promote success and all of that. So that's society's construct. And we can't do away with it. So you would always have people who have put in more and the society recognizes them as VIPs and they will be treated as such. It's not for you to start feeling bad. It's just for you to go back to the drawing board and do your thing. Just do your thing. Somewhere you will be a VIP to other people. So it's just for us to understand that we would always have that. But my problem is the manner in which you now elevate the VIPs and treat the other ones as less. Let me give you a quick example. So a friend of mine did a party recently and I handled the catering. So I organized food for everyone in that establishment, from the security to the cleaner to the managing directors, and all of them had a variety. So they were given options to choose a variety. So to the cleaner, do you want ofada, or do you want this, or do you want that? It was the first time they had somebody pay attention to them to ask them, do you want this? And they saw that everything was equal. But what I did was, for the managing directors, I had to include an additional, maybe like a bottle of wine to show that you are different, you know, but every other person was well taken care of and they were grateful. But what we see here is we put the VIPs on a pedestal and we ignore the other people we feel are less, and that's where the beefing comes in. But if you go to a place and they take care of you well, then the VIPs, whatever they give them, it will not be your business. So we should look into the manner.
You know, what if someone says, you know what, they asked me for rice, but they did not give me wine?
No, they won't even see the wine.
No, I'm just
and
saying.
Even if they see the
if
wine,
someone, yes, no, it's not, I'm not saying what you've done is wrong.
Okay.
So the conversation really says, is it us or them? So probably it could be us. If someone feels that she's gone out of her way to make sure you feel included, but because she did not add the wine, one more bottle of wine to yours, all of a sudden you're feeling, so you don't think I'm good enough. That's why I did not get the wine. So it could be us.
From cleaner to managing director.
For me, I even wonder when you go to events, like, I don't even want to be VIP. If you're VIP, you have to sit down there. And watch. I want to be at the back so I can sneak out quickly. And I don't ever go to an event feeling less than because someone has been ushered in. Sometimes you go to an event, the president comes in. Really? Am I going to be feeling less than because they ushered the president in front of me, or the governor? Do you understand? It doesn't, for me personally, I don't see it as a problem. But like places like church.
Yes, I was going to go there.
So now, church has to be careful because you're the ones that are the voice for being equal, being fair, you know, treating everybody the same. And then people see, especially people who seem to have a lot of money. And some people have said even these people have questionable sources of wealth, but it doesn't matter to the church as long as they look it and they are paying huge tithes, they are giving big offerings, they're the ones putting money down for the churches to be built. In church, people expect that you should be judged by your character more than what you can physically bring to the table. So I guess for different places, some things have to be looked at differently, but I feel that your status can bring you before kings.
Yes.
See status, you see beauty, you see money. You know, there's some things that just, it's like luck that has been bestowed on you by nature or whatever, and then it happens, it gives you a leg in. But it takes, you know, character and other things to push you even forward. But I don't think you should be bothered about someone.
So we shouldn't expunge the culture of VIPs.
we can't. Even if we want to, it's not possible
People
to
need to be given the respect for
the achievements.
for their achievements, for what they've done, for
for their hard
contributions that they have made. It's just a way of respecting and appreciating the
But
value that
whereby
they bring.
the person being respected is not worthy of that respect,
Now,
but is
that's
a
a
purchased
Yes.
Now,
respect.
that's
so
a
a hush puppy, you know, walks
That's a
into a
different
room
thing.
and we're all, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
That's a different thing.
So
that has to
that's
do with society, which is another topic entirely. But I want to quickly respond to what Miriam said concerning the church. Now, I know that the church is a place where everybody is supposed to be equal. We all claim that we are equal in the sight of God, which I disagree with, because even when Jesus had the disciples, he had the 12 that were close to him. He had the 3 that were special. He had 1, the beloved. That's Jesus. But like I said initially, the manner in which you navigate everyone and make them all inclusive. Jesus taught his disciples that if you want to lead, you have to serve. And he showed that by washing their feet, showing service. So he didn't take away the fact that he had his own VIPs as well. He had people who he could bring very close to him, but the way he treated every other person on the ground is what we should look into. How do we handle other people? How do we treat people who we feel they are less than we are? How do we talk to them? How do you talk to your gatesman? How do you talk to your security? It's not just about parties and all of that.
Let me take this call from Abdulaziz, calling from Kogi. Good morning, Abdul. Abdulaziz, are you there? Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
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 The funniest thing is that sometimes those people they underrate. They even do better than those in front. Like for instance, I was in a wedding. So when I saw those frontliners, if you even see the table, they party their table. I discovered that I was spending more than what they were doing. I had to stop at a point. You see, it doesn't matter how you are. Just treat everybody.
Oh, thank you. So treating everybody equally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, you see, this COVID pandemic has really opened our eyes to how people treat and respect each other.
Yeah.
We see how abroad, nurses and doctors are sort of revered now. They are the heroes of this time. You know, it always moves me when I see the videos where when a health worker is going to work or coming back from work, all the neighbors come out and they're clapping. There was a time that they were not noticed that way. So in this time where they are giving, yes, they're giving their contributions, they are VIP and they are being applauded for that. But in our own case, we had doctors and nurses crying, you know, that these boys were attacking them and stealing from them on their way to work during, you know, times like late calls. We were not even, we also had our security personnel that were checking and holding them down. These were people that are saving lives during this pandemic. So also, I guess the culture of respect for value more than money, maybe is what, yes.
Okay, let me take this last call. Victor from Alimosho, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yes, good morning. My name is Victor.
Morning. Go ahead, Victor.
Yeah, my point is, please, sometimes when we talk about churches, okay, I'm a Catholic, and what I know is we don't treat people who have money differently. When everybody comes to church, they are all treated equally. The only people that are maybe treated differently are maybe those that are like spiritually, maybe close to maybe those in that kind of hierarchy. But people, based on wealth, people are not treated any different from any other person. So
that's your opinion.
I like your church.
Thank you. So I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were telling me that in their church they had, you know, they call for committee. They want to buy, let's say, a new land. They will not. They're not going to call some.
Who can afford
some regular guy to join the committee. They want to build the church building, or they want to buy air conditioners, or they want to raise money for the children's church. They're not just going to call you and I to come and join. There is the heavyweights, and when the heavyweights come together, they pool funds, and when they now finally succeed in getting this thing done, they get that respect. So you're coming into church, you have no idea who is who, your air conditioner is blowing you, you're happy, you're cool. You don't know who has worked to get that thing there. So do you expect to be treated the same way? That's the question.
Another thing is, there was something Miriam touched on that I want to highlight, which is the problem us or them? Sometimes nobody's treating you bad, but because of your insecurities, you just see that maybe they've been talking to you like that, or you didn't notice. All of a sudden, they now have, and they now talk to you the same way. And that's how you opened his eyes, and it was, you know, you now start reading signs where there are no signs. So if you are someone who can build yourself up to not look at what other people are doing, not look at how you're treated outside, your value will speak for you at your time. Everybody has their time. When you come into your time, you will be celebrated. So clap for those ones that are VIPs right now, because you will be VIPs someday.
I'm on that turn by turn. I'm telling you, that thing bless me. Make it reach your turn. Everybody would get there. Simple. But you know something that occurred to me? I'm going to go on a break now. We come back. We'll talk about this culture of eye service.
Background.
It's something we must talk about. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So, while we're talking on the first segment, when you were speaking, I just thought of the culture of eye service. You know, Yoruba, they call it carry me. You know, that's just, you must see that I'm doing something, you know. And that's what we see a lot, especially within the political circles, you know. People don't care about you. They are only there because, listen, of what they are getting.
They have the position.
And even you as a politician, you know that these people are there because of what they can get, but you need them, you know. So that culture of eye service, let me just act as if I am doing work so that they won't say I'm not doing. It's something we're so used to in this part of the world. And I think it's something we need to address. Mariam, want to start on that?
Yes. You see, you went to the politicians up there.
That one's
I
so
want
far.
us to start from
us.
From us.
Yes.
You have a staff that's in front of you. He is the most hardworking staff. Please, do you need anything? Do you want anything? I've done it. Then you leave the vicinity and then you call and the person is not there. All the things that you've lined up to do, the person has disappeared. When you come, the person is busy. There's one of my teachers that I used to say to, I hope she's not watching, one of my classmates then. She was never in class, but you would see her walking fast to different places. Like, why are you always busy doing nothing? So that's how they, you know, people tend to be so busy around you, but the moment you leave there, where you left that job is where you find it. And I think also we reward eye service. So we reward the person that knows how to behave busy around you and say the nicest. You know, there are some people immediately you enter, I really like your shoes, madam. How was your day? But the work itself, the one that is facing to do the work, somehow you just feel irritated by the person. So for us, I think that's it's a culture. I don't know if abroad people have that culture, but for us, it's inbuilt. And I don't know what we gain by it, except that society rewards you for that kind of behavior.
It's the society that wants to reward you. Me, if you're working for me, I don't reward you for eye service because I detest people who do eye service.
You wouldn't know.
I know, because it will show in the work. Yes, it will take a while, but it will show in the work. So you're supposed to be doing something and you don't do it and you're giving me stories, but then you're all over me, paparazzing me. I will know you're not doing your job and then I'll tell you, we can't work together. So for me, eye service is something that growing up, I grew up in the East where somehow, when we say yes, we mean yes. We'll say yes to your front. We'll say yes to your back. We'll say yes everywhere. When we say no, it's the same no everywhere. So, but when I came to the West and I saw that it was different, it was a major problem I had, even in my house when I came to Lagos with my mom. I'm like, everybody around you just keeps... But I hear what they say behind you. And then I bring it out and everybody's like, this is the rude one and this is the rude one. But I just couldn't stand it. And what I see is people who are very quick to give an impression of what they are not are people who do not feel good in themselves. They have a problem of low self-esteem. Because if you do not have low self-esteem, I should be able to say, Morayo, no, I can't do this for you now. It's not convenient. And I'll be okay with myself that I said no to you. But what happens is they will stress themselves and do it, and then they are grumbling. I had an auntie then that was just married, and they were managing. So the sister-in-law will come to the house. She will have like just 4 pieces of meat in the pot, and then she will dish the whole 4 pieces of meat and give to her. Then she eats and clears the plate and leaves. Then she'll be insulting her. I visited twice and I was like, Auntie, you don't do. He said, no, you know our people, if I don't give her now, I say, but you don't have. And then you eat empty and your children eat empty. I won't do that. That's eye service. And then those ones say, she's very nice. Auntie so is very nice. I'm like, if you know what she has said about you,
Let me take this call for, Mr. Theo Akatuba, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh, it's such a pleasure having you on the phone. So, I'm sure you want to talk about the first topic also.
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Topic,
yes.
It is common in every society that people are motivated by gain, either gain of the present or an opportunity to have gain in the future. So because of that, we tend to be more nicer to those who seem to have something to reward us for our nice, and therefore treat those who are not of substance with a kind of levy.
Yeah.
It is for that reason that God Almighty told the church that what is practiced in the world by unbelievers should not be seen in his house. And he warned in James chapter 2, verse 2, he said, if a man comes into your church dressed in expensive clothes and with valuable gold ring on his finger, and at the same moment another man comes in who is poor and dressed in a threadbare clothes, and you make a lot of fuss over the rich man and give him the best seat in the house, and say to the one who is poor, you can stand over there if you like, or else sit on the floor. Well, by so doing, you are judging a man by his wealth. Shows that you are guided by wrong motives. The motive of such people is wrong. They want to make a benefit, just like they are treating poor people poorly. In the house of God, it should not be
Mr. Katsugba,
a sin.
Mr. Katsugba, let me put another angle. So I hear you, you're very correct. But I like what you said earlier, that people try to, they're nice to these people because of what they hope to get. And in our reality, the truth is that, listen, these are hard times. People are looking for help. I mean, we're in an economy where you can't go to the government for help. There's self-help. Everybody's looking for, who do I know? Do I know a governor? Do I know a rich man? Everybody's looking for somebody. So a church sees a rich man coming to their church. Suddenly, all they're seeing is dollar bills. Like, okay, this guy can actually help us build our next building. They want to make the guy feel good. So now, that doesn't mean that they're making the poor man feel bad. They're just giving him his own place. Is that such a bad thing to do?
Yes, it is a bad thing to do. For in God's house, it's not about who can give you something now. It's God that knows who has to give, and it's God that can motivate who will give with a proper condition of heart. The one you are treating well might be a wicked man who has come with an evil motive to destroy the church, but he has the money. So God has said that we should treat everyone equally, for he knows in the heart who is of him. And that's why I said, for the poor is his kingdom, and those poor ones are the ones that have more faith.
Let's talk about eye service for a second, the culture of eye service. We were talking about it earlier. Everybody does this, carry me, let's see me doing all the activity, but no substance. How do we address this in our culture, Mr. Katsugba?
We address eye service by looking for substance, which is consistency of behavior. Consistency of behavior, whether you are being seen or you are not being seen. A lot of people are gaining advantage in eye service because the person who is benefiting from eye service does not check whether the person is consistent in his behavior. This is the reason why many of us vote wicked people into office, because recently he gave us some rights, or recently he showed up with some palliative, not knowing that he's a wicked one, who is not consistent in his good, like the auntie that sister talked about. That auntie is not consistent, but wants to show that she loves on just one occasion.
Thank you, Mr. Katsugba. It was always a pleasure having you
Powerful.
on.
Powerful.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so this, I really love his contribution today. And I want to go back to the part where he was talking about the church and the values and being a rich man, what you can. I say, if the church, if they valued your spirituality more than what you bring to the table, then the rich man would not be the one that would be revered.
How do you measure that, though?
It will be the person who has shown character over time. So you would have someone who would say, I've been part of this church since the day it started. But maybe you're not a rich man, but you have been for every prayer meeting. When they need to put chairs together, you do all, you know. So you're giving your time, you're giving effort. You may not have cash. And then when you uplift someone who comes in, maybe he just joined the church 3 months ago, but in the 3 months that he has joined, pastor's car has changed, he has changed suits, do you understand? And all of a sudden they decide that they are giving a new office of a assistant something in church. And this person who has given his life and dedicated his time for 15 years does not get it.
The other one.
And
Let me tell you what those ones get.
What do they
They
get?
give them prayer ministry. Their job is to
They will
fasting
go
and
to
praying.
heaven.
Every day they'll be praying. While you're in your house sleeping, they're in church
Yes.
praying for you. Those are the ones that give that kind of job. So
Yeah.
let me take this call from Kaduna. I'll come back to you. Murphy from Kaduna, are you there?
Yes.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
You see I want to talk about this, the attitude about this attitude on.
VIP?
Oh, I see.
Please, I want to talk about this, our attitude towards those who are more affluent than the others. You see, there's this thing that this attitude starts from the home. You understand? Most of the things, you see the way they accord the rich ones among the children or the members of the family with some kind of special attention over those ones that are not as rich. You understand? So everything starts from the home, not the church per se, because it is from the home we go to the church. And if you cannot take care, if you cannot amend your attitude from the home, it will reflect anywhere you go. Not only in the church, anywhere you go. You understand? So it is the same people that are at home that are equally.
Right. Thank you. So let's go ahead. Yes, go ahead.
Okay. Andrew in StarTimes says, the ones that make me laugh, that I feel like rolling on the floor laughing, is when a VIP calls himself engineer. And you can tell he can't manufacture jack. And me, a software engineer, would prefer to be called Mr. or just my name, but yet produce the software. So,
Mr. Adebayo, okay.
Okay, so I was just going to add that, yes, that is a culture that we have. I remember then when you would travel to Jerusalem, beside your name, you put JP, and people killed to be able to go to Jerusalem and have JP beside that Jerusalem pilgrim. So we give so much attention to things that have no value.
People, the allergy. It's just formal, like they call them visitors. When you come, they give you that you're an allergy. You came here. Suddenly you come back, say, I'm allergy.
Yes, so you take the title.
I'm like, sorry.
We love titles.
What was that?
Yeah.
It's not a title.
We love titles. But I want us to quickly just touch on something, which is everybody has its place in the society. So the earlier you recognize your place and make do with what you have, the better for you. So for instance, the church now, where we have people, there are people who cannot give money. They will give their time, like you highlighted. They will give their resources. They will give, they are always available to help and all of that. They have their place and they have positions that are given to them. Most of the times when you see someone who comes with affluence and is given a position, the person may be qualified for that position. The person, they may have seen the person's CV, that the person can handle this, and they give it to you. But because you have been in the church serving for years, you now feel that, oh, because she has money, that's why she was given that position.
There's a danger in that thought.
No, but the thing is, every church has their way.
Yeah.
They all have their way.
Yeah.
It's only church because they are Christians here. If Nima was here now, she would have given us
Yes,
the
yes.
angle. But let's go on a break. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're going to wrap up on this because Tonto Dike is talking. I know she's an influencer. When she speaks, we listen. But we'll come to Tonto in a second. Let's take a few.
Toke Makinwa.
Oh, Toke Makinwa. Sorry, they are like probably one and the same. Toke Makinwa. But let's take a few tweets on this one.
Mr. Adebayo says, some people who feel unaccepted engage in eye service to make people accept them and elevate them to that status that they wish for. Many people notice such people and will try to avoid them as a plague because it is clear as day what they do to others.
Biliki says, I'm in sync with Obiajulu. It's inevitable to have cadres in a society. We just need to be mindful of the lowest on this cadre. They shouldn't be oppressed or subjugated. Everyone's effort counts. Victor says, eye service is a big turn-off for me. Unfortunately, it happens in Nigeria. Nigerian society a lot. Here in the West, the people are down to earth. Nobody sends you. So any attempt to do eye service, nobody would even notice. Bottom line, be yourself always.
Haruna Dauda says, if you truly believe all things come from God, then you will not show any difference between the haves and the have-nots. Life, not turn by turn.
Simple. Fantastic. Let's move on to Toke Makinwa.
Yeah.
So we've heard different stories of how greed comes after a family member dies, especially when the man is in charge of the house. Celebrity Toke Makinwa took to her Instagram page and told ladies that the moment they find out their in-laws are greedy, that lady should not fail to ask her husband to put their properties in the children's name. Now, let's talk about this for a second. Greedy in-laws. You can call us on 070-806-6804. You can also tweet us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YoviTVC so we can read your tweet. I know of a story that the father died and almost immediately the in-laws came. These are in-laws that have shown that woman love and kindness. Everything has gone well. There was no reason to suspect that they were greedy. You don't wear that greed on their faces. So they were really nice. But when that man died, within 24 hours, the oldest came, took charge of the house, started staying in the house. Everybody that was coming in was meeting him because the widow was obviously the widow. She's house, she's crying.
Somewhere.
He'll be the one to meet the MDs or all the big people that come, and they're interfacing with him. So he took charge of every single thing. And at that time, the widow she's not herself. So for the first few weeks, she doesn't understand what's going on. Is that 2 weeks after, she now realized that the death certificate is with the older brother. And once you have the death certificate, that is it. You can have access to almost all his property. So that is why it's important to have this conversation. You know, do we have this kind of conversation before they die? We don't even know when people die anyway, but shouldn't we begin to now start seeing how we ensure we safeguard our property to ensure the right people get it when we pass on? Either way, man or woman, it doesn't have to be man.
Exactly.
It could be the woman, it could be the
But
woman
it just
that
never
died.
happens the other way around.
Thank you,
I've never
Miriam.
seen a man where he lost his wife and then his in-laws will come and take everything.
over,
I have never heard.
Well.
So it's right. But when, you ask the question, when do you have this conversation? Nigerian men are very sensitive. You are talking about will. Yes,
You want to kill
madam,
me?
do you have something planned for me? Why are you talking about you
to kill
too?
me?
So we take it, we're so sensitive. So the woman is afraid to bring up this conversation because you'll be looked at like having ulterior motives. But unfortunately for me, it happened with me. When my dad died, that was what happened with us.
Wow.
Yes. And my mom just keeps saying, thank God I had my nursing job to sort of fall back on. It was really tough, but, she had
You're almost getting teary.
Yes, because that woman,
Anytime you think about it,
yeah, that woman, she was 24.
Wow.
And then anyway, so I think it's important to have something written down or something.
Oh, Miriam is getting teary. Oh my goodness, don't cry on national television, please.
It's okay. Mom is fine. Mom is a very strong woman.
It's important because people don't know how these things affect the children. Many years after, you're still getting emotional just talking about it. Because you know what your mother went through. When families come and just take over. So we try to have these conversations, but they think we have something against them for having this conversation. No, it's because just God forbid anything happens. The children must be sorted.
Yeah, so the thing is, what happens is that most times when things like this happen, first of all, the family, even if they don't say it out, they are blaming the wife for the death of the man.
Sometimes.
Most times. They don't say it, but it's there. Like, what did she do? She did not take care of our son very well. She stressed him. She did this, she did that, So that blame is there, but because everybody is grieving, some will come outrightly to tell you, you are the one that killed our son. Others will just, Another thing is the fact that they are entitled to feel, okay, you are a young person. You will likely follow somebody else tomorrow, you follow one man.
Okay.
Why don't I safeguard what my son has labored for and all of that? So that's where the problem is, and they want to, you have killed him, so you cannot eat this one again and bring another man into the house. We have to take this, forgetting that children are involved, forgetting that this this woman is going to start struggling to, even if they have properties, she will still stand. It's not easy to raise children with a husband, not to talk of when you are on your own. Yeah. Stand on your own. And so they forget all of this and they just feel, this is what we can take. She is a woman, she can sort out herself, she has a family, and they throw you under the bus. Now, one way that Nigerian men have to start looking at safeguarding the family is to start having these conversations early, like Miriam mentioned, then start making plans. Nobody knows when you will die. Nobody, God does not come to tell you are dying tomorrow, so get your house in order. It can happen. It could be the woman as well. So start having conversations. Start putting things in the name of, if you don't like your wife like that, like some men don't, in the name of your children, yes. Start opening accounts for them that they can have access to from 18 and all of that. No, just start putting things in place. So that if anything happens and maybe probably your wife cannot fight the properties and all of that, she has a kind of, is it cushioning effect or something to fall back on?
I keep saying it, and I've said it before. My mother's father died in 1974. Today, we're in what year? 2020. Yeah. My mother, she's 74 years old. She's still collecting inheritance.
Back down.
You took care of that.
Oh.
He, as a man, that's the only man I know in this entire world that has brain.
Generational wisdom.
Generational wisdom.
Background.
My mother is 74 this year, but both of us are going to be 70 birth on Monday.
She's still
collecting inheritance to today. The man got a trustee, a trust company to handle his properties and wrote down a will. In fact, my mother said he shared will for everybody. Children, brothers, children, aunts, sisters, children. He shared it.
Okay, the properties.
But Mariah, we've even heard of families who had wills, but they will go to court to contest it. Yeah. And it will become...
But it depends on the kind of will. If you have a really explicit will where...
With a strong lawyer
with a lawyer, with a company that is handling it, you'll be surprised. Yes, some people contest when it's questionable. But if the man himself... I know a rich man. I've said it also on the show. I know a rich man because his daughter is my friend, was my childhood friend. The man called all his children and gave them their properties while he's alive. She told me, my father gave me a house in London. He got me this. She told me what he gave her. So I know that she got her own. The man I went to go and marry another small wife, and he's enjoying himself with his new wife. So the older children, everybody is sorted. So we're having this conversation because men stop, especially fathers, when children are involved, it's important to document what are your assets, who gets what if I go. Because as silly as it sounds, you're not too young to get a will.
And also, this conversation is not for only very rich people. Yes. Some people are like, well, how much? I just have a car and this house and a tiny boys' quarters, so it does not matter. So people are like, okay, I'll wait till I have these assets to have a conversation. But the thing is, you need to protect. It's important that once you start having children, I think you should try and do things to protect them. But that's one. The other one is to talk to ourselves. How are you comfortable going into a home of people who have lost their father, their breadwinner, and you see that woman with children, and you still take what is left for them to fall back on? Where do we get that from? What do we hope to gain? How do we hope it will reflect on our own children? When they get married, when they have their children, if life happens, they lose their partners, what do you expect would happen with them? So for me, I think that's the conversation we need to have. Where is this greed coming from? Yes, you can write all the papers you want. If someone wants to stop you in court and make it hard for you, they will do that. But we need to have that mentality. These children are your children. You want the best for them as well. If you come from a family where the brothers or the sisters, you have always shared things, and now he's gone, the thing is, remember that brother that you love so much, those are his seeds. They deserve a life as well. Some families, not all, because I know that there are some families where the breadwinner has gone and they adopt into their families the children that have been left behind, and that is good. That's what we should do. That's what we should do more of. But this question of people being thrown out in 2020, Mariah, it still happens. You would expect that after everything we've seen, people who it has been done to, they're doing it to other people. What do we, and this wealth that you take or whatever you think it is, it finishes in a short time.
Right.
There's nothing in your life in 10, 20, 30 years that shows that you had stolen somebody's wealth and it's working for you.
Let me take this call from Oyin. Are you there, Oyin?
Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Hey, I'm a first time caller. Okay, good morning, Moraya.
Yes.
Ladies, you guys are doing a fantastic job and we love you so much.
Thank you. We love you too.
Especially with this COVID thing. Okay, so I was trying to come into your discussion yesterday and I felt like it kind of entered today and I was so happy. I feel like everybody should kind of everybody should kind of own their thing. If you know you are not in a good place, just own it that is a process. And for people that are in a good place, you can't blame them because if you have a friend that is constantly not having so much at every time, it tells on you as a person because you feel burdened. Even the person that is looking up to you, it tells on them also like, okay, what is this happening to me? I think everybody should just own their place at different time and should respect themselves.
Fantastic.
My own issue is really the church and our worship places. I work in the church and everything. Well, I feel that the church only needs to make people comfortable. I don't care what you say, but the church, the religious place should make people feel very comfortable. It's a place of peace for everybody. For you to say because somebody has money, we have a lot of crime rates getting high daily these days. It's because you don't have access to, you know, when you go to church, when you go to all these religious places, you find the kind of peace that somebody higher than this whole world is minding your affairs. So you go and feel relieved, which is better for you. But when you now come to church and we're supposed to find this kind of family and everything, the pastor is busy calling somebody's name because he has money. It's supposed to be a spirituality thing.
Right. Thank you so much.
If we don't have the Spirit of God, I don't think we can detect that. And for in-laws, please, if you are rich at 20, please do your will. It's not a case of greed. They will show different pictures. They don't want to see applicants. We are so greedy and unrepentful about it. There's not a case of praying about it. Just do your will.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I'd like to get Mr. Theo Akatugba back on the phone. If you can, I'd like to hear his thoughts on this issue of greed, and especially when men or when family members take over their brother or sister's property.
Yeah. For me, the families that I've seen up close and personal that actually do this are people who are not successful. So they are not doing very well. No, I said up close, what I've seen. They are not doing very well and they feel we can have more. Our brother that was helping us before has gone, so we can actually take it now. That we can take it, you know, and they swoop in. And another thing also is, for me, is poverty mentality, because they are not putting the children into consideration when they are making this decision to take it. They are just after what we can get right now. He has gone, so let's get what we can get. For men who are, let's take for instance, they are the breadwinners, they are taking care of not just the immediate family, but the extended. You know, there are some people who are successful enough to take care of the father, the mother, and all of that. It's also important that while you're writing, whatever it is you're writing, you make provisions for your aged mother or father or people that are relying on you. Yeah, it's, no matter how small it is, just make that provision. Probably when they see that, okay, everybody has been taken care of, they may just leave your wife alone.
You said something that made me remember something. I know actually a wealthy family that the son married somebody they felt was beneath them. He went somewhere and brought in some girl from somewhere because he loved her. I mean, I think he was on NYSC. You know, you go to NYSC, you just meet different people from different places. So he married her and he insisted. The family never liked her, but they took her in because our son.
He insisted.
I think about 12 solid years later, the son died. And it was the family's turn to let the girl know, you're not from our level. We don't know you from Adam. So they came in, not because they needed her money, but to show her that, listen, you don't belong here. They wanted to take her children from her. But she refused, she insisted. And she got the lawyers involved. Now, what they're doing is that they are paying her something as upkeep. And in the Nigerian laws, I think they just pay you, I don't know how much it is.
Peanuts.
But peanuts, pretty much. But the point is that she had no legitimate authority to take them to court for her own children. Because there was nothing
in her name.
Nothing in her name. And the boy was practically still living off his father's money. He never really had anything.
That one is family money now.
So it's practically family money, pretty much.
Yeah, you know, when you were talking to, I sort of shook my head. And the thing is, I wish it was that simplistic. And then you can say, oh, there's a formula. It's it's families that do not have enough money, or it's families that are, poor or not educated. The sad truth is it cuts across all types of people, all social strata. Yes. So people who are educated, who you would think would know better, people who have money, as you have just described, but for many reasons, sometimes it's to teach you a lesson.
Right. Simple.
I would show you.
Like you before.
Yes. Some people would say, when he was alive, you carry his shoulder.
Yeah.
I will bring it down for you. And so it's
back to, let's talk, it's back to talking to ourselves.
Yeah.
Is it necessary? Let's take a few tweets. Is it necessary for us to be doing that at this time? And what can a woman put in place, or a mother, or anybody put in place to ensure?
So that is where my mom says, you must have your work.
Something you're doing.
She says it paid nothing, but we had that to sort of, at least we could eat from that. We could start off from there. You must have your own. So when a woman asks for that and the man is wondering what you have planned, it's just for, for the future. And the reason why I keep saying the man is that because largely, of course, we have very financially independent women, but largely in our culture, men are the breadwinners. They bring things home. And we even have conversations where some men will say, no, I don't want my wife to work. I want her to stay home. So when you ask her to stay home, make sure that you're putting things you're putting things in place. For if she were working, she would have put those things in place for the times where she would not be able to get like double income from, from being
and I
marriage.
said this before, that it rules out when people say, I just want to marry and be a full-time housewife and just take care of the children so that they will grow well and just do this. And then something happens, you don't have a kobo to your name, there's nothing in your account, there's nothing hidden somewhere, and you're looking from left to right. But if we start, equipping ourselves, educating ourselves to know that you must have something that brings in something on the side, even if you are getting everything. And if a man wants to put you at home and say, take me, for instance, I don't want you to work anymore. I want you to stay at home. You will pay me my worth, and I will stay at home. So I'll be saving down for anything that wants to happen. So I have a few tweets here. Can I go ahead?
Yeah, 1 second. Mr. Katugba is on the phone. Mr. Katugba, are you there?
Yes, today is very interesting.
Yes. I really want to hear your thoughts on this because it's prevalent in our society. Go ahead.
The first thing is that there is no way we can preach and cure the greed of man.
Jesus.
Man is inordinately greedy and is greedy everywhere, and greediness is like witchcraft. So in-laws that are greedy are going to be prevalent in homes because greed is part of man. Bible says that the heart of man is dangerously wicked.
Desperately.
Who can know it? So when you marry as a woman these days, marry your in-laws. The culture of marrying the man alone tends to ostracize the woman from the larger family. So there is that coldness of relationship. However, men should act in protection of their family, whether the in-laws are greedy or not. But there's no way you can read the heart construction from the face.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
Interesting.
Marry your in-laws.
So marry your in-laws. A lot of women are wishing that their in-laws, the mother of their father, should be there. Such kind of hard condition will not prepare you to play the politics required to marry your in-laws.
There's a politics required.
Yeah, so politics required. You are very correct. Interesting. Politics required to marry your in-law.
Yes, because during the time your husband is around, you might think you have a relationship with them. But when he passes,
that's
you
when
will
you know.
see those who are prepared to war you, who had resented you over the years, showing up. So it is important that because that day comes surely, all people marrying should not neglect the in-laws in Africa. We are in Nigeria, we are not in the West.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Katugba. I'd like you to respond to that because...
Yeah, I understand and I get it, but it's even more scary that it means that the future of my children, if something happens like that, is determined by how much they love me or accept me. We have talked about eye service. We have talked about people that would love you, pretend they love you. We know a lot of families that would... I remember I know someone who used to say that when her husband died, before her husband died, they used to have everyone come to the house, the in-laws, they took care of everyone. Because of his influence, she was able to get her in-laws jobs and things like that. When he passed on, everybody disappeared. Yes, they love you when he's there. Sort of the person is the person, the man is the person that, yes, that brings everyone together. But once that person is gone, everybody sort of finds their square root. So in this case, not like they came and took things from her, but there was no one around because it was their brother that they loved, that they were there because of. So you have done your part, you have loved, you have shown kindness.
Okay, we can't obviously
You have married the in-laws and yet they demarried
They divorced you.
They divorced you.
Divorced you.
Okay, on this matter, I think we'll have a part 2 of this because I think it's a really intense conversation to have.
Yes.
And we need to get different perspectives and different angles. So we'll probably do this topic another time. But unfortunately, we ran out of time. We have to wrap up now.
Aww.
That's all we can take. Have a fabulous weekend. Monday is my birthday! Hello, I'll show you. See you Monday. Bye-bye for now.